Welcome. We are Two Finger Spirits. We got Dave.
Hey guys.
Thanks for coming. We got the camera shy camera guy.
Here.
I'm back here.
We got the live studio audience. Woo!
And Henry the dog's around here somewhere too.
And I'm Brandon, but nobody cares. But what you do care about is
What do you got?
the whistle pig. Huh? Dave was kind enough to bring this over too. Like the old Rip Van Winkle wasn't enough, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready? Ooh-wee.
Good. So Dave, how'd you obtain this bottle?
I bought a new car and I'm like, let me drive this car to Vermont as quickly as possible. And on the ride home from Vermont, I said I need to stop. So I used to love just filling my car up with beer, and I just don't love beer as much as I used to, sadly to say. So I was like, well, I'm in Vermont, let's get some Vermont whiskey. And although I'm not sure if it's Vermont or Canadian made, it does say Canadian on the bottle.
You want to know?
I want to know. Yeah.
Indiana.
Indiana. Way off.
Is it MGB?
This was
Look at this.
This was Dave Pickerel's like experimentation thing. So I think the story behind this is he wanted to experiment, and this is really interesting. Dave Pickerel, he started off at, I believe, at Maker's Mark. He's known as the Johnny Appleseed of whiskey. He's known as the father of craft distilling. Sadly, he's gone now. I think he passed away in 2018. But boy, he's a legend. And so when the guy, I think the guy that bought the farm up in Vermont, didn't know what to do with the land, and finally decided, I'm gonna distill whiskey. He hired Dave Pickerel to help him, and he's the best. And they source from Alberta in Canada. Mm-hmm. They source from MGP, and now I think they're up and running. I think they started in 2010, and they've got their own stills going. Did you take a tour while you were there?
No, there was no tour. This is like, it's a whiskey tasting room right next to this Simon Pierce College fancy dining hall that, it takes a week to get a reservation. But I wasn't in the mood for food anyway. Just whiskey.
So the age, 12 years.
12 years.
Right? And then, what casks do they do it in?
I don't know.
You don't know.
No, of course not.
Well,
thankfully
I think
it says on the bottle.
63% in Madeira cask, which I think are from Portugal. 30% in Sauternes cask, which I believe is a white wine from France, a sweet white wine from France.
I can smell a sweet white wine on it.
And 7% in port casks, which again I believe is Portugal, right? Portugal.
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
And this is 86 proof.
Which is interesting because the 6-year whistle pig is 100.
100, yeah.
We just looked up the 10 year is 100.
10 years 100.
Interesting.
So Mashbill is 95% rye, 5% malted barley.
That's a nice rye mash bill. I like the high rye mash bills, especially when we were talking about a rye.
MSRP?
How much?
$115.
Oh.
Woo! Huh?
Paid $120. I got ripped off.
No.
From the distillery.
From the distillery.
That's the best.
So I think that what they did was Pickerel reached out to a bunch of people in the bourbon community and in the whiskey community, and they experimented with a bunch of different blends of these three. So it was aged in new charred oak barrels, American white oak barrels, and then finished, I believe, in these three other barrels to those percents, and they kept mixing around and letting other people sip them and taste them until they came up with what they felt was the best.
That sounds like the best experiment ever.
Doesn't it?
Right.
And they didn't get enough of that experiment because they had another 12-year option over there.
Different.
It had like a Hungarian name to it, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I was lucky enough to just say, I don't know which 12-year bottle I want. Can I get a taste of each? And this was my choice. Yeah.
Cool.
It's got a nice nose.
I got like a banana out of it.
Ooh.
I thought you were just excited to see me.
No, not that excited,
I
but
just used that joke last time.
I think you
Darn
did.
it.
Stop talking about bananas, Mike.
It's sweet.
Mm.
Extremely
Yeah.
sweet on the nose, right?
Yeah.
It is. It is.
What else do you got?
Light ethanol. I'm getting wood.
Obviously, it's whiskey.
No, I was checking out your wife.
Oh man, well, I'll also give you the white.
Jesus, Dave, come on, it's a family show.
Mm.
And the color's lighter than I would think for a 12-year, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong with that?
No, you're not.
Can
It
you
is
put
pretty
that,
light.
Put that in front of the lens. Let's check that out. Let me see. I really would have thought that was going to be much darker. It looks darker in the bottle as well, right?
But it's got some beautiful legs to it. Look at that.
We talking about the live
Yep.
studio audience, or
A little bit of both.
oh,
All right, I'm going for this thing.
what did you get on the nose besides sweet?
Bananas on the nose.
Yeah, I'm not getting bananas. I'm getting the oak.
Mm.
I'm getting sweetness.
Oh,
I'm getting some.
this is good.
I'm getting something like a dark fruit. Right? You got any dark
Like a-
fruit on that?
Like a dark banana, maybe. You know, an interesting thought of bananas. You know how they say, in Yup'iaks or Eskimos have, 100 words for the name of snow, the word snow.
Yeah.
I lived in Uganda for 3 years, and my wife is from Uganda, and they have 100 names for banana.
Really?
Just because there's bananas for making liquor, there's bananas for eating, there's bananas like sweet bananas that we eat here, and there's all different kinds of bananas. There's bananas for making beer out of, there's bananas for making hard liquor out of, there's bananas for making wine out of, there's been all different types of bananas.
Really? I would love to try an aged distilling from banana.
I am definitely down for that.
And there's one beer that I had that was a banana beer, and that was fantastic. I forgot who did it. It was so good. I want to say Founders, but it's not Founders.
All right, go for it, Brandon. I'm gonna hear your taste on this.
A little bit of like musty wine
Mm.
on the nose with the sweetness.
That is just so easy drinking, right? from
It
the
is
go.
so easy
Yeah.
drinking.
It's definitely, it coats your mouth in this little sweetness. It doesn't taste sweet, but it coats it in the sweetness.
Yeah. And you get a shot of like the rye spice to it, which is like so subtle and good.
It's
Not
silky on the
overpowering.
mouth,
Silky, yeah.
right? Silky
Yeah.
mouthfeel.
This is
Again, a little bit,
unbelievable.
just a tad of
Good.
cinnamon on the tip of my tongue. And then,
Mm.
and I've never had any of these wines that they're talking about, so I don't know if I'm picking up those wines, but I'm getting
I'm
a
getting
lot of
some-
sweetness.
I'm getting a little sweetness
Yeah.
from it. You got a lot of sweet. I get a little sweetness. from it.
I do, yeah. It has like some like that like sweet port wine kind of like tinge to it. Yeah, I think I'm looking for where the sweetness is coming from, and I think it is those
Yeah.
those barrels. Yeah.
Yeah, that Sauternes, I
Or-
believe, is read online is a very sweet white wine from France. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, but and I'm getting a bit of a brininess on the palate, like a
Like a Scotch brininess.
Salty.
something
Yeah.
salty in a way. You get anything like
I
that?
believe. Yeah, I could go with the salty little tinge to it. Yeah.
Come on, finish. What do you think?
Yeah, it's almost got this like creamy, silky mouthfeel, and I'm getting some dark fruit. Really sweet. One of the sweeter ones I've had.
But,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not like sugary sweet, but like whiskey sweet.
Yeah, like a really good whiskey sweet. Yeah, that's what I am. And I agree with you. It is one of the sweeter ones I feel like I've ever had.
And it's nowhere near as sweet as that Angel's Envy
No.
rye that was
No,
finished
no.
in Caribbean bottles.
Nothing
But this
like that.
might be the second most sweetest, and still is far below how sweet that Angel's Envy rye. Have you
Right.
had that?
No,
Finished in. We'll have to get that and have you try it.
it's worthwhile.
I can only drink one because it's that sweet.
It's more of a dessert whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't quite. I wouldn't go dessert whiskey.
This is
on
definitely
one.
not, though.
Like it's
Very,
not
very
like
good.
sickly sweet. Like I'm very put off by the sickly sweet. And I used to love Basil Hayden when I started drinking whiskey, and I'm like, oh, this is great because it was so sweet. But now it almost tastes sickly sweet to me for drinking whiskey.
Yep.
Yeah, and they have a Caribbean rum cask finish one too that we've never tried. Never been a fan of the Basil Hayden.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of this. I'll tell you what, this Whistle Pig 12 is awesome.
It's good. Would you do it for 115?
I would have a bottle of this in stock.
Really? For
I would.
115?
Yep. I want to have a bottle of this in on the bar for anyone who's a rye drinker that wants to come over. Like typically I give a bunch of different ryes, but I feel like this is probably one of the best ones that we've had.
It's really mild in the flavor profile that you would get from most ryes.
Right.
Like it's not a typical rye. Like you could tell it's a rye, and you could definitely tell it's a finished rye, but it really buries the rye flavor profiles underneath the sweetness of the wine barrels.
Really, like I'm not getting like the chocolatiness of a
Right.
rye.
And I'm almost missing that.
Oh, I'm not missing it. Because I like that when I want that. That's what I have the balcones for.
That balcones is so far off the rye profile though.
But if you're talking about that chocolate taste,
Yeah. I'm used to
No chocolate
spearmint,
here.
dill.
no chocolate.
Yeah. No chocolate. Yeah. It's got.
I'm getting cherry.
I could believe cherry, but not very subtle. Like every flavor is so subtle. I'm getting with it.
So it's well balanced.
Yeah.
Is that where you're going?
Yeah. I'll go with well balanced. Yeah.
We're gonna get a bottle for the bar.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You dig it.
I dig it.
I dig it too.
No, it's very rare that we actually find bottles that we actually want to put on the bar, but this is definitely one of them. So I know, David, thank you for bringing this over. It's awesome.
On the website it says whiskey is the greater sum of all three finishes, each with their own distinctive profile. After maturing for over a decade in New American oak, spirit is divided into one of three barrels. Yeah. And we went over the percentages.
So it does 12 years in the American oak, and then it goes. Different portions of it go to different barrels.
Yeah. And we went over those portions.
Sauternes and then
That's cool. And then they got the blend.
Madeira.
It's awesome.
Yeah. You're definitely getting nice fruit on the nose. I think the rye's coming a little bit more onto the palate now.
Yeah, on your second or third go
But
around.
it's fruity, you know. It's still getting a lot of raisin.
Raisin, I could see. I could see like a dark berry, kind of like the cherry, the raisin.
Right.
Just so subtle though. Like you don't like it doesn't sweeten.
There's nothing overpowering.
And I think I do get chocolate on the finish.
Chocolate on the finish.
Yeah. Yeah. Take another swig.
All right.
And I'm getting
that little bit left in my throat. I'm like, okay.
I think
like
the last thing that this goes to is chocolate on my finish.
Guess we're gonna get away from that chocolate profile on the rye, but that's all right. Listen, I thoroughly enjoy this.
Anything you want to add about it?
No, I think it's a win. I think if you want a nice bottle of rye for your bar, this is something that you get.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to like. This is a good one to share with friends when they come over, especially if they're rye drinkers.
Yeah.
Because a $120 bottle, most people won't have in their bar, and it's nice to be able to offer them something.
Yeah.
And I guess you can probably predict what I would say. I would like to try it at a higher proof.
Oh, obviously.
I'd love to see this.
Can you imagine this in a cask strength?
Even 100 proof would do it. Like where's the 1776? That at 100 proof, that's finished in sherry cask. That's so delightful. Or even this is up near 100. 98.6 proof. That's finished in port cask, right? Yeah, port barrels. So that's a nice rye finish. A little higher proof. We're gonna taste this one real soon. This is
What's that? That's the new
Act 9 Scene 5, right?
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna do that. Anything you want to add about this one?
Yeah, so right from the beginning, when I had that first sip, I was like, wow, this is just easy drinking. And I think that had to do with, being 86 proof as opposed to 100.
Yeah.
And But I think I like that when I get those 100 proof, and oftentimes I like to add a little water to my whiskey.
Sure.
And you know, it's different when you're just tasting it right off the bat. But this, in my opinion, this is this is a perfect rye. Like I didn't love it as much when I first tasted them all, and I just knew I didn't have the wallet to go to 15 or 18 years. But and I think this might be the most expensive bottle I've ever bought in my life, quite honestly. But it's
You no buyer's remorse.
no buyer's remorse
Right?
here.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and even like I just paid off that credit card last week, and I was like, wow, $150 at Whistle Pig, and then like I jumped over to New Hampshire State Liquor Store to stock up on a few other things,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I got 4 bottles there for less than I got this one bottle for with a quick tasting, and it's a beautiful bottle. It's a good bottle, and Whistle Pig is a good company.
They are.
I'm no buyer's remorse.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Good to hear.
Buyer's remorse.
You got a great radio voice.
Yeah.
Yeah? Anybody ever tell you that?
I've heard it, but personally, I cringe when I hear my voice.
Really?
Yeah.
You also got a good face for radio.
You too.
So it was, and that's why I'm back here.
Yeah. Well, he's the handsome guy behind the camera. So.
Well, you know what? Like, subscribe, comment if you had it.
But it was Dr. Seuss that said, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, whiskey in your glass, you can steer yourself in any direction you choose. Good old Dr. Seuss, huh?
I don't think I have that book, but
Really?
I'll try to get that one.
Get it.
It's a good one.
Thanks for coming, we
everyone.
really appreciate your support. Cheers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's all, folks.